described as a once-in-a-generation opportunity to help transform the lives of young people in part of Birkenhead. Cradle to Career is a new multi-million-pound initiative designed to help youngsters in the north of the town from before they even start school through to finding work to supporting their mental health. It comes after a survey found that although residents are proud of where they live, they feel a lack of jobs and opportunities in health and education are holding the community back. Well, joining me now is the programme director, Steve Baker. Very good morning to you, Steve.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Just start by telling us how this initiative all came about then and what the survey looked at.
Yeah, well, it started with the Steve Morgan Foundation. So Steve wanted to upscale his philanthropy. He's done some incredible things by donating £300 million to support disadvantaged young people across the Northwest. And he created a round table event where he brought other philanthropists to the table, and they wanted to work to put the community at the heart of the decision making. So they ended up wanting to do some work in North Birkenhead, which has been an area that's been identified as having persistent levels of deprivation, but we wanted to do it differently. So we wanted to speak to the community and build on some of the strengths that exist in the area. So there are over 90 organisations working into the small piece of real estate in North Birkenhead, and we wanted to get them to work together more effectively. So that's how it all started.
Yeah, because, every child, obviously, we want them to all achieve their potential, but to do that, they need opportunities, don't they? And in certain areas, I'm guessing those opportunities aren't as readily available from a young age, and that has a knock-on effect to later in life, doesn't it?
That is absolutely right. What shouldn't happen is your outcomes in life shouldn't be determined by the area where you're born. So what we also realised is that the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different outcomes. So we wanted to do things slightly more radically. So, you'll have heard a lot about the levelling up agenda recently in the Queen's speech and whatnot. But while that provides the resources, it forgets that actually it's the people who will affect change. So rather than try and create an off-the-shelf solution to some of the problems that we face in society, we wanted to get ourselves embedded in the heart of the community and speak to the people who live there and find out what they want to do, and not just looking at it from a deficit perspective, so looking at what's going wrong. We want to celebrate what's going right, actually, and we want to do more of those really positive things that we found.
One of the things that the survey highlighted was concerns about antisocial behaviour and not feeling safe, but you also need to look at the people who are causing these problems and why they're following that kind of path, don't you?
Absolutely. The whole idea of Cradle to Career is about early intervention, because we know that the earlier we intervene, it's more effective than remedial action. So what we want to do is we want to work with young people and parents, and we want to make sure that we can understand what's driving those behaviours, so we can start to prevent them before they even begin. It's more of a preemptive strike, so we can de-escalate behaviour before it even begins.
And as you mentioned there, the Steve Morgan Foundation have been involved. I guess this is not going to be a cheap exercise, is it? Without them, would you be able to do this?
Absolutely not. Steve has been incredible in kickstarting the whole thing, and then we've had other philanthropists come to the table. So there's another organisation called Shine who are looking to close attainment gaps across the Northern Powerhouse. Then there's the UBS Optimus Foundation, and Wirral Council have committed a 17-person team solely committed to providing really effective universal services and working together out of a community hub in the heart of North Birkenhead. Without that, we couldn't have started it. But now that we've got it, Steve and the other philanthropists have recognised that this is a long-term project. So we're talking 15 to 20 years, and they've incredibly generously kick-started it all by giving us the funding for the first 3 years, and we're looking to continue it right long into the future.
And like you say, it's not going to be something that's just done overnight. So what would you say are the immediate priorities for the programme?
Absolutely. So what we did with the priorities, we asked the people who live there. So we had about 750 responses to a survey that we did, and we found that people wanted to really improve literacy standards. So we've got all the schools working together incredibly effectively. We wanted to make sure that there's easy access to support that's needed, and also improve the quality of life for everyone involved, and ultimately create new opportunities for all the local children and young people who live there. So there's some massive priorities, and as you say, it's going to take some time to to realise our dream of creating a really wonderful place to live. But with the support of the community, we feel that we can do it.
Well, good luck with it, Steve. Thank you for talking to me.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks very much for your time.
That's Cradle to Career, it's called. That's the programme director. It's an initiative in the north end of Birkenhead, and that is Steve Baker talking to me this morning.